Hello everyone, I am Doodlemans86 and today I am going to be reviewing the S.H. Monsterarts Godzilla 2016, the Fourth Night Combat version. This guy was Shin Godzilla brought back into the Monsterarts line back in, I believe, 22, I think? He was revealed in the Shin Japan Heroes universe alongside the Evangelion unit, Ultraman, and Kamen Rider. And funny story, I actually remember wanting a Shin Godzilla for a long time, and I wanted the Monsterarts because it looks so cool, and I almost considered paying a high price on eBay for the original. I know that guy was whack, but I ended up seeing like literally the week after that this guy was revealed, and it was heaven to my eyes because I love Shin Godzilla. So without further ado, let's check this figure out and see if he is an improvement over the original and see if he is worth picking up. So here is our look at the box. As you can see, we have Shin Godzilla glowing here, the description of the line, some stickers, and I like that they use like a dark burgundy for the background. It's just such a nice color. It fits Shin Godzilla very well. And we actually have promotional pictures on the side, which is interesting. Nothing here. On the other side, at the back, we have Shin Godzilla, and then here at the back we have a window showing the figure, which is so cool. I love that. So that's the box. So here we will take a look at Shin Godzilla's articulation as per usual with Monsterarts figures. So here at the top of the head we have a ball joint, and we have one here at the lower jaw. So yeah, there you go. And then in the neck we have two segments here in the middle, which goes up and down about that far. Left and right not so much. And we have the base, which goes up and down pretty nice. Then from side to side it's pretty good, so you can get a lot of neat poses with his neck as such. Here at the shoulders we have a very thick bumpy shoulder that is on a ball joint, but that's about the best you're gonna get. The bicep is on a ball joint, kind of a hard swivel though, as you can see. The elbow is also on a ball joint, and then we have the wrists, which are also on a ball joint, as you can see. Ball joints all around. Then we get to the upper torso, which is on a ball joint, a very nice and smooth one, left and right, forward and back. And then we have this little segment right here which doesn't move. And then we get to the hips, which are on a ball joint. Very nice spread. Go forward and back pretty nice, and they also go a full 360. The knees are on a ball joint, I believe. Yeah, there we go, knee ball joint, but it's a knee segment, so the actual knee isn't moving. The lower leg is what does all the movement, as you can see. And then we have the ankle, which is on a nice ball joint with the hind heel here. And then the tail is on a ball joint. It's 16 segments, but it's very nice. You can get pretty cool poses out of it. Curves very nice, stays in its position, goes up and down. You can get the classic Shin Godzilla pose with his tail up. And he can pull off a pretty good S, which is not bad at all. So overall, Shin Godzilla has pretty great articulation. Pretty nice. We'll move on to the sculpt and paint next. And this release is a retooling to capture Shin Godzilla's appearance in the Attack at Night with all the reds and glowing explosions and fire. But let's be honest, that's just an excuse to make an accurate Shin Godzilla, because this is all that is. It's basically to patch up their first mistake, because that figure was, that was a tough one. And that sure wasn't it. But this guy seems to fix all that. So I went over the articulation. He doesn't have any QC issues, at least not any major ones. Maybe paint mistakes, that has to be expected, but besides that, the articulation stays on nice, and his physical appearance is pretty good. Nothing bad about it. So I like the translucent use of plastic. The translucent plastic is very nice. It's this very dark red, almost blood-like, which, funny coincidence, am I right? But I like how the translucency allows parts like this to look at like he is flowing with blood. Like this looks like blood. Like this all looks like blood. This looks like gelatin, you know, almost shiny, gooey looking. The segments that overlap create this strong red, which contrasts the already translucent red, which makes it look like real blood, which I think is just so well done. And to add on to that, you can put a light behind him and make him look like he's glowing. Like the segments look like they're flowing with blood, and I love how that makes the spines look just glowing and eerie, and you can see the blood inside, you know. It looks very nice is my point. It just looks so great, and I think it adds to the realism of this figure. So I just wanted to point that out. And he's got a black on top, which just looks really good. So here inside the mouth, you can see it is a metallic red. We have very nice sculpt in there. We have the very nice fleshy membrane bits, which are a metallic red. So I like that touch, that it's metallic. We have the membrane on the side, which is left unpainted with metallic red, but it still looks very lifelike. And we have the yellow jutting teeth, a lot of teeth, gnarly, nasty looking teeth, mind you. And we have his googly eyes, which I think look fine. They look pretty good. He's got a lot of eye baggage here with red, which is very nice. And we have the details here on the side, the very thin neck. And we have the spines here, which look so good. We have the front of the neck, and we have the chest glowing with red bits, and we have the little fin right here. It looks very nice. I like the web-like look. It's so good. We have the bumps and spikes and texture all over him. He just looks like he's in pain. I mean, look at these tiny hands. And speaking of the hands, they actually painted the little claws on them, which I think looks great. They're yellow. I mean, on this hand, they're barely noticeable, but on this one, you can see he's got a lot of nails in there, which I think just looks so great. His bony little hands jutting out with nails. Here we have the crotch, which has a few reds. And you can actually see that the inside of the figure is painted with a metallic red, so that's to complete the inside look. And we have his huge thighs, his huge bumpy thighs with a sand-like texture. It feels different than the rest of the figure. That texture is very strong in the legs. And then we have the knees and then the hind heels here with the feet and the curved nails, which just look nasty. I think Shin Godzilla needs a pedicure, but we have some nails jutting out here down too, which I'm happy they painted because now it just looks very nice. And we get to the crystal-like spines, which look so good. I mean, just look at those bad boys. They look fantastic. We have the long tail with each segment having that red streak that I was talking about before. And we have the tail spikes, which look nice and stylized. And we have the tip of the tail, which has the face, which is something none other the Shin Godzilla figures that I have. So there's the face for you. And there's like a tan white kind of dry brushing on top, which looks great. And that is also translucent. So again, I just like how they use the translucent plastic here. It just looks so good. It fits Shin Godzilla, and I think they went with a creative choice that definitely fits this design very well. I'm happy they did that, and overall this has to be one of my favorite sculpts and paints of all time. I think they did pretty fantastic here, so good job, Tamashii Nations. So no accessories, sadly, and this guy is at a price of about $149 without tax and shipping. He could go for higher on eBay, Amazon, such and such. Big Bad Toy Store. He's available everywhere. Even though the figure is discontinued, you are still able to buy him at different online sites. So I have some very unfortunate news to share. I guess that I should have seen this coming, and I guess you were all expecting it, but this is my first ever S.H. Monsterarts figure that broke on me. I knew this was gonna come sooner or later. Didn't know how later or how sooner, but it happened for the first time. So this guy isn't the one that's broken. This is actually the one I bought afterwards. But here's the tail of the one that did get broken because I didn't have any other space for that figure, so I put him in a box. But I have his tail out. Don't ask me why. But yeah, he broke. So long story short, a few days after I got him, and I was just messing around with him, you know, getting used to the articulation when his, I believe, left hip, I think, or the right one, either one of the two, I forgot which one, but I'm pretty sure it was the right one. I was basically messing around with it. It was tight, which, you know, that's not the first time that happened to me. Tight and loose joints, not new, but the figure's leg was just stuck. I couldn't move it out of the socket, and it broke, sadly. So I tried fixing it afterwards with anything I could, but it just didn't work. So That guy broke on me. Very sad. So bad I voice cracked right now. But yeah, I just wanted to share that because this is something that may happen to your figures. And it actually happened to me again recently with the Rebirth Gamera, whose left arm broke. You guys saw that I posted pictures of photography with him online, but yeah, nothing ever came up. Literally the day after I posted those photography pics, he also broke. So yeah, this is just something we shouldn't expect from this line at this price. And I am a little disappointed that these issues haven't been fixed yet. I know one or two bad copies will happen, but I just don't think we should be expecting this for most, or if any at all, release. And we shouldn't be praying to ourselves that our copy isn't gonna break, because well, it's happening again with the -1 Monsterarts. Seems like the tips of some people's copies break. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen to me, and I thought I would just share that because this is something that has been happening with the line since its release. And yeah, I just thought you should all know that because now I have a second Shin Godzilla tail. How sweet. So he is about 7 inches tall. 7 inches tall, exactly. He's about the same size as the Monsterverse Mechagodzilla, which is interesting to see because Shin Godzilla compared to the Monsterverse characters is smaller, but yeah, that's just funny to point out. And from head to tail, he's about 17 inches and a half, so that's a pretty long tail. Here is his tail next to Ultima's, and as you can see, Ultima does have the longer tail. So yeah, I guess Shin Godzilla is no longer the king of long tails. So sad to see him lose. So here are some size comparisons with some other Monsterarts figures. I think he scales pretty nice with them. It's interesting to see him be at 7 inches tall. I guess it's just a nice way of saying that they have a reason to put it at such a high price. So, you know, whatever it may be. But yeah, he's a pretty big figure with that tail. So he's going to command a bit of shelf space. With 7 inches height and the long tail, he is going to take up bit of space. So I say clear some space up for this big boy because he will definitely take it up, and he is a pretty nice figure to have. I think they put him at a pretty great size. I like it. All in all, the S.H. Monsterarts 4th Form Night Combat version is a fantastic release. I feel like this figure is an apology in disguise for the original one because that one was just an absolute mess. Basically deemed the worst Monsterarts ever released, and this guy basically fixes that. The translucent red and black complement each other very nicely and make up a more accurate look to what we see in the film, adding this gross-like look and feel to Shin Godzilla. So I do really like that they added that because it's a very nice touch. They hand painted all the little nails too, which is very nice to see. The articulation is really great, very flexible. He's a nice figure to have fun with and pose overall. I really do enjoy it, and you know, an accessory or two would have been nice, especially with this guy. But you know what, I guess I'll let it slide because they did basically fix it from the last one. I feel like that's all these special color version and decisive battle version figures are, kind of like fixing old mistakes. But yeah, I highly recommend picking this guy up because he is the essential Shin Godzilla. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.